So everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shir Adav. Baruch Hashem. Today is a Tu B'Av, a special day for Klal Yisrael. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel said that there were no good days. Lo hayu yam tovim liyisrael b'chamish also b'Av b'Yom Kippurim. He said that these days. He said that the day of Tu B'Av and Yom Kippur with very special holidays. Why? Because Tu B'Av we're going to see in a few minutes. I'm going to bring you a couple of things. Okay, something very special things happened for Klal Yisrael, and of course Yom Kippur. We understand we felt the forgiveness from Hashem, and that brings on a great simcha, right? Mm-hmm. And you feel okay. And then it says that the daughters of Yerushalayim, they would go out in white dresses that they would borrow. Mm-hmm. Very beautiful, right? What they did was there was all different girls, wealthy ones, poor ones, and everyone in between, right? So no one wanted to feel embarrassed. Yeah. No one wanted to feel embarrassed. So everyone would go out and borrow a dress. Whether they had a dress or not, everyone would borrow a dress. So it wasn't that only the poor girls would have to go borrow a dress. Everyone, all the girls borrowed dresses. Such a beautiful thing to put everyone to feel to be concerned for someone else's feelings. It's so beautiful. Mm-hmm. But they were concerned for others' feelings. And don't forget, when they did this, what did they do? They would go out into the vineyards and they would do a beautiful dance. And the guys would all go out there. I mean, they wouldn't like this today. I mean, the Charedim wouldn't like this, right? How could you do that? How could you do that? But this is what the Gemara says. This is what they did. They went and made a beautiful dance. And the guy said, I like this girl. Come, we'll go out. And we'll go out with you. I'll go out with you. And that's how they did it. That's how they made shidduchim. That's how they made shidduchim. So beautiful. Simple. Simplicity. That's the way it works. Simplicity. Okay, right? It's just such beautiful things in the holiday, right? So to understand,
even some of the schools, like at Barrett Academy in Houston, they had uniforms for that same very reason. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people went kicking and screaming. I want to be unique and different. I don't think.
Yeah.
But they all.
No, but it's very important. That's a very important reason why a lot of schools do uniforms. Because some of the children can't afford, the designer clothing like the other ones have, and then they feel.
Even plain.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, you see here when you go to the Haredi areas, girls are all wearing the same outfit. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. I mean, and the boys too. Girls especially. It's nice.
So there was another thing that happened. There was a moratorium that the Shvatim weren't allowed to marry in between one another, right? And also there was a problem with Sheva Binyamin, right? Poor Sheva Binyamin, right? But Sheva Binyamin, this was all canceled on Tu B'Av, so everyone was able to get together, and everything was so beautiful. It brought Klal Yisrael back together. And that's what's such a beautiful thing. Hashem loves when we get back together, and that brings a great simcha. Like we're learning in Likutey Halachos, right? We're learning. All they did are different colors, right? All those different colors, and bring them all together. You have that beautiful bouquet, right? And then there was another thing was they stopped chopping the wood for the Beis Hamikdash, right? They used to have the marach, the fire, so they would always chop wood. So that today, on this day, the sun would start. From this day, the sun gets weaker. The sun starts going down. This is the strongest, and then it goes down. And because of that, the wood wouldn't dry out as good, and therefore they decide, okay, we'll stop chopping wood on this day. Now, what was the significance? It's 45 days before Rosh Hashanah. So the guys would say, okay, it's time to get serious now. And they would sit down and learn, and they would get close and start making tshuva. That's what it was. So it was such a beautiful idea, right? It's 45 days before Rosh Hashanah now. It's amazing, right? Today, 45.
The way it's set up.
Yeah, 45 days, right? Yeah. It's interesting. Very, very interesting. It's very, very, very interesting. Okay, and another thing was that Hoshea Ben Eli, what he did was he took down the guards that they put up guards who did that. Yeravim ben Avad, right? It was right actually over here on Derech Avot. Here that we have on Derech Avot by Neve Daniel, that Derech Avot. So there's the crossroads there. And then the Jews all used to come from different crossroads to come to Yerushalayim to go to the Beis Hamikdash. He set up guards there. He set up borders there. So came along Hashem. He took them all down, and everyone was able to come back to Hashem to see the grandeur of the Beis Hamikdash. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. All right. And then also another thing was that on today, we have in our benching, we have the bracha, we say Uvnei Yerushalayim, right? Then we say, and then that bracha that we have after that is really giving thanks that the Harugei Beitar, right? There were, how many, do you remember how many there were? There were a lot. Thousands of them died in Beitar. Not the Beitar we have now. The Beitar we have now is Beitar Elite. That's a new Beitar, right? The Beitar that we had, where Arabs have that now, right? They're there now. But where it was opened up and we're able to bury them. So that was also Yom Simcha, brought closure and everything. So there's just the beautiful things that happened on this day. And because of that, in Shulchan Aruch it says that today we don't say Tachlin. It's a day of Simcha. So Baruch Hashem. And we learned that whenever there's more kedusha in the day, right? There's something in the day, you don't have to say the Tachlin because you get that special protection from the kedusha of the day. We learned that in Likutey Halachos. Okay, so now we're going to go back. There was a little detour. I'm sorry. Likutey Halachos Nesias Kapayim. We're in priestly blessings. Halacha Hey, and we're in the middle of Hey. All right. So we're going to pick it up from today where it says Ki betchila oimrim karbonos ikatoris shem letaras oilam asiyah. Okay, that's what we're picking it up from today. All right. So and again, we learn for the well-being of the chayalim and the chatufim, right? The soldiers and the captives and all of Amcha Beis Yisrael, wherever they are. Hakadosh Baruch Hu should show all of Klal Yisrael a lot of protection, give a lot of protection and a lot of comfort to Klal Yisrael. We mamish need it. Okay. And the learning should be a schus. Okay, here we go. So we said we start off in the morning. We'll review a little bit. We start off in the morning. We say karbanas, right? We say the sacrifices. We recite the sacrifices, and we say the ketoras, right? The incense, right? The incense offering, right? It's a very important thing that we do in the morning, right? L'tayar oilam asiyah, because what we're doing is we're trying to purify this world. Right? We said that this world is filled of a lot of impurities, a lot of stuff going on in this world, right? So we have to clarify the world from the klipos, right? There are all the husks of impurity, and we have to clarify them.
Can I ask a question about that?
What's that?
Well, in the Breslov Siddur, they also have that at Mincha and a little bit at Mariv.
No, there's no karbonis in Mariv.
No karbonis, right?
By Mincha.
By Mincha.
Mincha, you have the ketoris, you have the carbon atomid.
Right.
Yeah, carbon atomid. Right.
So it's just as important as saying it then as in the morning?
It's very important. Yeah, very important. Yeah.
And we repeated a third time too, the chakras, the second time.
Part of it, you don't say about the carbon tumid, you do the ketoris.
Right.
Yeah.
You have the ketoris. The ketoris, you say it again. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you can say that you have it 3 times a day. Nice, very nice.
Like
Very
Ashrei.
nice. What?
Like Ashrei, 3 times a day.
Yeah. Very good. You can say it 4 times too if you want. No problem.
And Shema as much as you want?
Yeah, well, no problem. Just you don't say Shema consecutively.
Right.
You don't say it consecutively. That's it. Ketoris, you can say it as many times as you want consecutively.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there we go. Anyway. We're connecting the world to the Torah. We said yesterday that the world was created in 6 days, right? And since the world was created in 6 days, that's like the Vav. That's like the Vav 6. The Vav is 6, right? And that's like the Vav of the Malupim, right? You have the line, and then you have the dot. The Torah is the dot. Why? Because that's like the Yud, the 10 Commandments. 10 Yud is the gematria of 10, the 10 commandments. We connect the Torah to the world. Okay, so it's a beautiful idea, right? You say the Torah, you say the Karbanas, you say the Torah, you're connecting the world together with the Torah. Isn't that beautiful? That's what we want to do. That's how you get your protection.
Why is the Ketores doing that?
No, because the Ketores and the Karbanos, right? They're in this world, right?
They're in this one.
They're part of this world. That's something part of this world. So what we're doing is we're taking, well, let's take the Torah, right? It was all these different, 11 different spices that came from all different places, right? We brought it together, right, to make the Torah, right? All the different animals, right, and the different things that they, and everything came from of this world, and we brought it up. It was an Isha Reach Nichayach LaHashem. It was a present for Hashem. Hashem enjoyed it, and it went up to Shemayim. It was something special. So we're connecting the world through the words of the Ketores, which is Torah, right? Which is Torah, right? You find that in the Torah, right? You find the Ketores. It's part of the Torah. Right, and then you say the Karbanas are in the Torah as well. Look at Sefer Vayikra, right? All this is all about the Karbanas, right? Okay, so then that's how you're connecting the Torah, the world, to the Torah. The world is the sixth because it was created in 6 days. The Torah was created in the Aseres Adibros. Also, the Torah was created. Hashem did. There were Asara Mamoros, right? There were 10 utterances. There were 10 utterances that Hashem brought everything into creation via the 10 utterances, right? So all of these things, that's the idea, okay? Because before you purify the world, there's no way to connect it to the Torah, right? Like we said yesterday, we gave the example, before you wash your hands, you can't say any words of Torah. You can't say Hashem's name. Right, in the morning, you get up, you have to first wash your hands before you could say any words of Torah, any words of mentioning anything of Hashem's name. Really, all of Torah is really all Hashem's names, right? So you're supposed to learn Torah before you wash your hands, okay? So now you can clarify and fix the world. Separate the world, right? You make this separation. Here, this is impure, this is pure. You make that separation. Right? Which is the Yud. Okay, that's where we left off yesterday, but now we're going to pick it up from here. B'shvil zeh, hayu anshe hamaymad, oiskim b'torah b'shasa karbanas. So, okay, while the Karbanah, you were talking about Karbanis, okay, so good. Now in the Beis HaMikdash, right, while the Kohanim were doing their avoda, so you had the Levium they had their symphony going on. It must have been beautiful, right? And you had the Anshe Amaymad. These were the people that came in. They were designated to come in to study Torah. There was Torah studying going on. It's beautiful, right? There was a symphony going on. The Karbanis were going on. Could you just imagine what this was? And we don't have, we're missing so much. This was real beautiful entertainment. Could you imagine watching this? It must have been amazing. This must have been amazing to see.
And smell.
And the smells,
the aroma, right? The aroma, unbelievable. Well, they say that no one in Yerushalayim ever needed any perfumes or anything else. The city had the beautiful aroma. The whole city had the whole aroma from the Ketores. It gave up a beautiful aroma for the whole city. The whole city. No, the perfume companies wouldn't like that today, right? That's a whole big industry, right? All that, yeah. When you learn the midrashim, it just is such beauty, really, to just feel like Reb Nassan's giving us a little feel here. What it was. It's something so beautiful. It's going to come back again. We're going to have it back again. Very soon. Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay. The main idea of the Kabbanis, again, like we said, is to bring it back to the Torah. So what better thing to do is to learn Torah when you're doing the Kabbanis? Okay, there we go. Ubishvil zeh hayu oiskim beparshas bereshis. So what did they learn? They had a designated set of limud, right? They had a designated learning that they would do. They would study parshas bereshis. They would study the parsha bereshis. You know, they say really all the parshas he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be ma'aveh sedri. It's a rule in Shulchan Aruch. You have to be ma'aveh sedri, right? Shnai mikra echad targum every week. But really, when it comes to parshas bereshis, you can really go over it every week. There's so much in there, and you really get such a short time. You never get a whole week. You never. Well. Sometimes we would have had this past year we had a whole week, right? Because Simchas Torah was on Shabbos. Right, Simchas Torah here was on Shabbos, so you had a week till Shabbat, but that's unusual. That's an unusual thing. But really, Parshas Bereshis, you really have to go over all the time. There's so much in there. It's everything found in there. Shemedaber mitchilas habriya shebara sa'ila misheichis me'amayis, because it talks about the fact that Hashem created the world in the 6 days. Oh, the Vav. And the dot, the Torah. Okay, here we go. You bring the idea of this vav, right? Hanal sheyiskashe el Torah shu bechinas hayud. The Torah is the yud. Bechinas bereshis. Oh, it's the idea of the beginning. Bereshis. Ki bereshis hu bechinas nekuda. Bereshis is the nekuda. Kamay shekasa bereshis nekuda beheichole. Right, it's in the kuda of the heichel shel. Okay, whatever. Bebechinas reishis chachma. Reishis chachma is the beginning. Bereishis reishis chachma. Okay. Ki kishema'amdin kishema'amidin shashem yizbarach. Right, meidin shashem yizbarach baras oilam b'sheishis me'amasa. When you testify and you agree and concur that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world in the 6 days, you're connecting back to that Nakuda again, the Nakuda of the Malupim, that little dot, the dot, you're connecting back to it, because he came and created the world, Ki Bairaisa bara kucha brichu Alma. We know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Zohar says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mistaka by Raisa or Barei Olam, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu looked in the Torah, and he created the world. So you'll ask me, wait a second, but all the events didn't happen yet. Okay, so that's true. But all the letters and all of the letters of the Torah were there. All the letters of the Torah. Yes, they were arranged differently because of different events. But they're all the same letters. Everything. Hashem looked at the letters, and through the letters of the Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. Again, whatever that means, right? But why Hashem had to look at letters, I don't know. But again, that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose to do. Okay, Shehu Bechinas Chachma. That's the idea of true Chachma, because real Chachma comes from the Torah, right? Real Chachma. What's Chachma? Chachma comes wisdom. Wisdom is from the Torah. Right? Yes, there is Chachma B'Goyim. Yes, the Chazal discussed that Yesh Chachma B'Goyim is the Chachma. There is Chachma B'Goyim, but the real Chachma comes from the Torah. Because any real Chachma that the Goyim actually have, where they get it from?
The Torah.
Came from the Torah anyway. Right? So just get it straight from the Torah. Okay? Shekasav Kulam B'Chachma Asisa, like it says, Kulam B'Chachma Asisa. David HaMelech writes it in Tehillim. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu made everything. He did everything with wisdom. Everything HaKadosh Baruch Hu did in creating the world, he did with great wisdom. Everything was perfectly calculated by Hashem. It's a beautiful idea, really, to understand. In everyone's life, in every situation, in every circumstance, everything Hashem perfectly designed. He perfectly designs. And he designed and he keeps designing. Perfectly. Kulam b'chachma asisa. Okay, v'zeh bechinas perik ezel mekaymin shel zvachim sha'imrim kidei levar lahayir kol hanekudas taiva sheyesh b'chol mekaymais shel beis hamikdash. Oh, ezel mekaymin, right? When we say that's a mishnah, right? Ezel mekaymin is a mishnah, right? So we say the ezel mekaymin, right? It talks about all the places that the Kohen would bring where they would slaughter the animals, right? Some of the karbanos, like he had to do in the north. Some of them he was able to sacrifice anywhere in the Azara, right? It didn't matter, right? Some of them like the carbon chatas and the carbon ola, and these carbonates had to be done always in the north, but Safa, on the north side, Right?
Well, that goes. Is it called ceviche or something in the Sidor or something? There's like it comes to all the places.
Yes.
That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's
right?
what we're talking about. The places where the Kohen would,
Yeah.
the places where the Kohen would have to slaughter. Okay. Sheyiru b'chol ha'olam, shayidei zeh yesh koyach la'olam l'skashi al haTorah. Again, the different places in is the Torah, is the world in general, and then you had the world of the Beis Hamikdash. Right? There was the world in general, and then you had this world. So in the world of the Beis Hamikdash, Ezu Mekayim, right, where the Kohen we talk about, we want to be everything over there the same way.
Isn't there something special about that? I think where it says that's everyone agreed that they had that correct or something.
Exactly. There's no
dispute.
A good point that you brought that up. Yes, and that's the only place that we have in all of Chazal. In all of Chazal, that there's no disagreement. Everyone agrees, concurs to that. Everyone agrees to that. This is the way it was. It's the only place. Could you imagine that? It's the only place. Everyone else he makes a statement, okay, there's 5 say no. No, not that. It was something else. This one, Ezu Mekayman. Where is the places for the sacrifices? Ezu Mekayman, that part. That section there in the Tefillah, it is so important. My Rebbe, Rav David Spiegel, he always said, if you want to make sure you have good shalom bayis, make sure you say the Ezu Mekayman. Why? Because there's no argument over there. So if you say Ezu Mekayman, you say that really good every day, watch, you won't have any fights at home. Isn't that a beautiful idea? Because there's no argument. No argument. You don't want arguments, say Ezu Mekayman.
Nobody's mentioned by name in that Mishnah.
Yes.
Not like in Beis Hillel, Beis Shammai,
It's not exactly. Not Reb Meir, this right. Exactly. Okay. Ki ikka oras etzem an nekuda kedei shehu bebeis hamikdash sheikka yesoidei al nekudas even shesiyah. Oh, the even shesiyah was that stone, right? The stone, the foundation stone. I don't know, how do you say even shesiyah in English? The foundation stone? Yeah, you like that? That's a good translation. Okay, fine. I thought about that. Fine. But I always try to figure out how do you translate these things, a word that will be accepted. Okay, fine. There was HaKadosh Baruch Hu had first created this even shesiyah, this foundation stone. From the foundation stone to bechinas a nekuda kedosh shel olam, because everything came forth from this stone. Everything evolved. Right? All of creation evolved from the even shesiyah. So that is the point of the world. Right? Get it? The stone is the point of the world. Do you follow? The stone was there. It's a stone. It's on the Temple Mount.
Where they got the mosque on top of it.
It's on the Temple Mount. It's on the that's where the Kodesh Kodashim is. The Holy of Holies that's where by the even shesiyah. That's the Holy of Holies. Because again, you're bringing everything back to the source where it came from. That was the source where it came from.
Is that where Jacob and the ladder also happened?
Yeah. In the Akeda Yitzhak.
Yeah, everything happened right there.
Right there.
But
Amazing.
we can't go see that for sure. We can't go up there though.
No, now we can't go up there. No, we're not allowed to go up there now. No, we're not allowed to go up there. No, we can't go over there for sure. We have to all Talmid Thomas Mace. Can't go there. No, we can't. There are certain.
What's Rabbi Weinberger say about going up on the temple?
I didn't ask him, but if you want to, I would say he would say not to go.
Not to go, right?
He would say not to go. Rav Goren, he made a map, I believe, right?
Yeah.
He made a map of where you could go.
Right.
He was a big tzaddik. He was. Some people hold of it, and some people say, "Listen, I don't need to go. I go to the Kotel."
Rabbi Tendler holds by it.
What?
Rabbi Tendler.
Okay, fine. Listen, Reverend Goren, it was great. There's no question about it. But again, that's not the point. The point is that here, as we're learning now, it was the even shesiyah. That was the point of the world. So in other words, you have the world itself, everything. But then, and that's part of the 6. But then you have the point in the world, again, back to this malupim, right? The line and the dot. So the world was created in 6 days from what? The dot. The stone. It's unbelievable how Nassim's bringing all this.
And the line is the Torah.
The line, the line is the world. The world was created in the 6 days. From what? The dot, which is the Torah.
But that's not Gan Eden.
No, it's not Gan Eden. No.
Yeah.
The Pesach Gan Eden, they say, is by Martha Machpelah, right?
Right.
Eli,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
They have. That's where they have the thing over there. All right. Shesham Haya Oimed Ha'aron. That's where the Aron stood. Im Aseres Hadibros. Oh, the 10 commandments, right? The Aseres Hadibros, right? The Luchas Shashnias, right? The second set of Luchas that Moshe Rabbeinu got for us, right? And the Luchas the broken ones. The broken ones were there as well. The broken ones were in the Aron as well. Also in there you had the little incense of the mun, right? You had the mun inside there. You had all different things. It was an interesting array of different things that we had in there. Bishab Iker, his kashrus, uchlolis, hoilam ela Torah. That's where you're able to bind and connect everything back to the Torah. Shemisham nimshacha akedusha lechol makoymas. Then from there you can bring. He's emptying the garbage cans.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Nimshach hakedusha l'chol hamakoymos. Then you could draw kedusha to all places from that place because that's where it started. Beis Hamikdash, Misham Yerushalayim to the holy city of Yerushalayim, Yarei Sholem. Right, we learned that the whole idea of the city of Yerushalayim is the city of Yiras Hashem, right? Because if you want to love Hashem, you first have to have Yiras Hashem. Right? Well, L'chol Eretz Yisrael, so this Kadsha be'eser kedushas, and all of Klal Yisrael, and all of Eretz Yisrael we know is sanctified. There are 10 levels of kedusha in Eretz Yisrael. There are 10 levels of holiness in the city, in this country of Eretz Yisrael. Zeh l'mala mizeh. One is higher than the next, right? You have levels, right? The levels, like you have the Eser Sfiros, right? They go up, right? Mizeh keneged or hanikuda she'ikora bechinas yud. Back to the Yud, back to the source. Bechinas Aseres Hadibros, Bechol Ma Shehamokim Samach Yoisel Nekudas Ha'evan Shesiya Hu Mekudash BeYoiser. Any place that's closer to that place of where the Yud is, that little dot is, of the Evan Shesiya, that's a holy place. As you go away from there, you have holiness, but the holiness decreases. It decreases as you get close. It gets stronger as you get there. So obviously Yerushalayim has the holiest level of Kedusha, right? Because Yerushalayim is closest to the Evan Shesiya. Okay? And if you want to live in the old city, you have the most level because that's really the closest that you can be. Right? Okay. V'chol carbon lefi kaparosai. And then each carbon according to its kapara, right? You have the kapara, the karbonos, right? Your sacrifices. So the sacrifices brought forgiveness, right? They brought forgiveness. Cain, hayalay makaim bebeis hamikdash l'shchitasai or l'zrikasai. So too, there was a place in the Beis Hamikdash where it was slaughtered, like we discussed, right? And where you sprinkled the blood, right? Sometimes you would sprinkle the blood on the outside mizbeach. Sometimes you would sprinkle the blood on the inside mizbeach and on the kaparis, onto the curtain. Right? There was certain times, there were different things. Right? He's going to explain now. That's the place where the holy love, that's where the holy love is. Right? We say the Kohen, when he gives us our blessing, he says, Be'ahava. He blesses us Be'ahava, that we should understand what we need to love. He says that he's teaching us what we need to love. Right? People keep saying in the world today, I love this, I love that, I love this. It's nonsense. It's just it's a word that they use. It means nothing anymore. But there's true love. The true love, to love the Torah, to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to love Am Yisrael, right? To love Eretz Yisrael. This is true love. That's what we're supposed to love.
It's a tough job sometimes. I have to love everybody in that room.
Yeah, I know. Yes, it's a hard, yes. Yeah, but you have to, if you remember, Hashem put everyone in their situation.
That's right, yeah.
Right? It was Hashem set them up. So, hey, Hashem wanted this guy to be just like that.
Yeah, right.
He didn't choose it himself.
Right.
He didn't choose it. That was Hashem chose that. So how can I?
How can I not? Yeah.
There you go. Okay. No, listen, we're learning, we have the tools, we learned the tools of how to deal with all the situation. You just have to use the tools, right? A guy can have a problem in his house, he can have a whole toolbox, right? And he can have all the tools. He can have the latest tools, the greatest stuff, right? But if he doesn't take them out to use them, his problem will stay.
I think compassion is a big tool that we need to use more of.
Okay.
That allows me to love everybody then.
On all willful sins, spiteful sins, right? A pesha is something that we did. Someone may have done a sin spitefully, right? Oh, I'll show you, Hashem, right? Right? People do that sometimes, unfortunately, right? That's a pesha. But even the hava, true ahava, when you have true ahavas Hashem, true ahavas HaTorah, true ahavas Yisrael, that love can cover up and can bring forgiveness for even a pesha, such a spiteful sin. Okay? All the kabbanis were through the Kohen. Why the Kohen? He did it, right? The Kohen was the one that had to take the blood. The Kohen didn't have to always do the Kohen didn't have to do the shechita. That some people don't know, right? Anyone was able to do their own shechita. The Kohen didn't have to do it, but the Kohen had to collect the blood. That was the way the avoda started. The avoda started from the collection of the blood. So in other words, let's say you brought a carbon, and you were a shochet. You were able to make the bracha, you were able to slaughter the animal, but that was all you were able to do. Now the Kohen takes over. He has to have his bowl. He's collecting the blood. The Kohen is going to be doing he'll be skinning it. The Kohen will be cutting up the animal, whatever it has to do. That's not the purge, but you can do the slaughtering. Okay, that's an interesting idea. People don't know that, right? Right, Ellie, you learned that, right? Anyone can do the shechita, but that's not part of the avoda itself, right? That's not part of the avoda. Okay,
and that's why we have to drain the blood for meat to be kosher. That's why we have to drain the blood out of the animal for the meat to be kosher.
No, because it says "Lo seichlo al adam." We're not allowed to eat blood. The Torah says not to eat blood, so you have to salt the meat. Drain the meat, blood, and then salt it, because the salt, we use the kosher salt, like the rock salt. So what that is, that actually absorbs the blood. That's why we put salt on the meat, because we don't have blood on the meat. Because the Torah says we're not allowed to eat blood. We're not allowed to eat.
But is this part of the reason? Is this where the source of it came from?
No. The Torah tells us exactly what the Kohen had to do. Okay. He had to take his bowl. Right, he had to collect the blood, and he took the blood, and they told him what he had to do. He had to go up the ramp on the mizbeach, and go onto the corner and sprinkle on the corner, and then go to the other corner on the other side, sprinkle. And then he got all four corners. Sometimes he'd have to go in, take this bowl, and go into the kodesh, right, to the mizbeach hazov, and do his sprinkling, and then sprinkle it on the kaporos. Right, there were different kabbanis, a different prescription. Right, he had to follow the prescription of each carbon. Okay, but no, draining the blood, that's something different. That's something different. Okay. We said the Kohen is the guy of Chesed, right? Why is the Kohen the guy of Chesed? All he's doing is he's helping Klal Yisrael, right? The Kohen doesn't go to business. He doesn't have necessarily a land. He doesn't have the things that the regular Jews have. The Kohen's, he's more connected to God. He's more helping Jewish people. That's what Shevet Levi did, right? The Levium didn't have cities either. They had some kind of, we gave them, right? They didn't have actually designated cities, but we gave whatever they gave them. They got they had 42 cities, right? Like we said yesterday. Right, the Levium had 42 cities, and they made in each one of their cities, they made a little mini Uri Miklat, a city of refuge. They made a satellite office. Right, there were 6 main ones, and there were 42 satellite. I guess you could call them satellites, right? Would you call that like a satellite? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. The Kohen teaches us what the true love is. Right, because of his purity. Right, therefore, the carbon was there to bring kapara. There was also the place for it. right? Not only by the Kohen, but you had a place, right? You have everything in the world. You have a place. You have the you have the person. You have the different things. This was the place. Ki kol ma shehaya carbon sarich lechaper b'yoser haya loy makim miyuchad ukfua b'yoser. Right? Each carbon. Based on the level of severity of the carbon, whatever was what he was trying to accomplish with that carbon, there were certain things that he had to do, right? He had certain specific things that were designated to be done with the carbon. Keep going. Koche kochim. Whenever you had the Kodesh Kadashim, right? The carbonas that were Kodesh Kadashim, right? So those carbonas had to be done in the north side, on the Tzafon side of the Avzara. Okay, v'chein yesh karbanos shayu tzrichin lahachnis daman lahechel. Oh, there was some of them that you had to go into the hechel, you had to go into the kodesh, right? Where you had the mizbeach hazov, right? And then he says hakol kifi ma shayu tzrichin bazeh carbon is again according to what the rule was for that carbon, and then you'll find all of that is listed for you nice and clearly in Ezel Mekayim. If you want to understand it, it gives you all the instructions right there where the carbonas, the Kohen went for each one of the carbonas and what he did in here, what he had to accomplish. Okay, lahamshich hakapara b'yoser minikudas even shesiya, in order to get to the kapara of the even shesiya, right? Shesham ikra ahavas hakadosh sheshayre eitzel nekuda. That's the main point, and then that Nakuda again. It's what a nice understanding to understand that really the world is six. The world is six. It was created in 6 days, right? And then you have the Evan Shasiya, that little stone, that everything evolved from. That's the Nakuda. Bring everything back to where it came from, right? We want to bring everything back to where did it come from? From the Evan Shasiya. Where did that come from? From the utterance of Hashem. Everything comes back. Bring everything back to Hashem. Balkein b'yom kippurim. Oz anu tzrichin lechaper al kol Yisrael kula. Then when it comes to Yom Kippur, we just learned today's Tuba, right? Rabbi Gamliel said that there was no simcha like Yom Kippur and Tuba, right? We just learned it. Isn't that beautiful? Here we have Yom Kippur again. Isn't that nice? I love when that happens. Yeah. Yal came b'yom kippurim. Oz anu tzrichin lechaper al kol Yisrael kula. Right, the Kohen went to do his service on Yom Kippur to bring forgiveness for all of the Jewish people. Right, he wasn't working for his own family. He wasn't working for a certain person that brought a carbon. Here now he's working on behalf of the entire Jewish people. Wow, he's trying to effect a forgiveness for all of our willful sins, our inadvertent sins, and our spiteful sins, everything. The Kohen's trying to get us forgiveness for everything. Shel kol hashana kula, from the entire year. Could you imagine that? The entire year, the whole 12 months passed. Now the Kohen is going on Yom Kippur, right? All he had to do to prepare for that. Right, what the Kohen had to do to prepare that, right? Because he couldn't have a seminal admission, right? He would have to stay away, and it would do this, and there was an amazing thing. Why? Why was all of that? Because he has to. He's the representative to forgive everybody for all of their sins for the entire year. Therefore, the Kohen went in to the Holy of Holies. That one time a year, on Yom Kippur, that was the only time he was able to go in there. One time. During the Musaf. During the Musaf, that's when the Kohen was able to go in. One time of the year. Where did he go back to? He went back to the Even Shasiya, that stone. That one time a year, he was able to go in there where that stone is. Now you know where the stone is, right? See that? You didn't know where the stone is. Now you know where the stone is.
See why I would want to be a Kohen Gadol and be able to go in there.
There you go. That's something to aspire to, right? It's wonderful, right?
I don't think I have enough payola to get there, though. I hear you had to bribe someone to get in there so that pulled up by a string.
You don't want to bribe anybody. No. You don't want to bribe anyone. Nekudas Even Shasiya Ba'atzma, because that's where he goes to the actual stone. He's right by the stone.
That's amazing. Right
by that stone, the Mokim ha'Aron va'Luchos, the place where the Aron, the ark stood, with the Luchos inside them. So bringing everything back, the Luchos, we said are 6. right? The luchos are 6 because the luchos were 6 by 6, right? The luchos were 6 by 6. The luchos are in the Aron. Where is that? It's in the Kodesh Kadashim. Where is that? By the Even Shesiyah. That stone, where that is the point. So you have the luchos is 6, the Even Shesiyah is the dot. There you got your malupim over there. That's on the highest level, on the highest order, right there. That's on the highest order. From that actual point, from the actual point where the world came from. Beautiful. He's going back to where the world started from. And because again, he can bring, if you go back to where the world started from, he can bring everything back before the sin. Right? That's all back before any sin happened. Right? Everything came about from the Even Shesiyah. So if you can come back to there, then you can go back to before the mistake ever happened. Right? Right? It's before creation. That's where creation came from. Unbelievable. Coming back to the Havas Hashem. That's where you get the kapara from. That's why the Kohen blesses us bi'ahava. And then what he does, he ends off with shalom, right? The Kohen ends off the last word, the Kohen, the bracha, he says bi'ahava. He's blessing us with ahava, with love, right? And then what's the last word he says? Shalom. He gives us peace. What peace? So we should have inner peace. When we have inner peace, we can hear the words when we're davening. When you have peace inside of you and everything is running smoothly, right? So then you can listen to your tefillah, and then it can affect your heart, and then you can come to love Hashem. Unbelievable, because you can come to do tshuva, and if you come to do tshuva, you can come to love Hashem. Because all willful sins are covered over when it comes to ahava, when it comes to love, right? Love, because there's different levels of tshuva, right? There's tshuva me'ira and there's tshuva me'ahava, right? So it says, if a person does tshuva me'ira, he can cause that his avera can be erased. He can be erased. Pretty good. That's pretty good, right? The guy did something wrong, right? And it gets erased. But a higher level is, I don't want it to get erased. I want it to get transformed into a merit. Wow, that's much better, right? That's much better, right? Because then whatever mitzvahs I have, now if I can take all of these sins that I did, that I invested my time in, right? Because let's think about it. When a person does a sin, what's he doing? He's investing his time in that sin, right? It takes time. Everything takes time. Right, so the person is doing a mitzvah, so he's using his time. That's we said his error. He's making arichas yamim. He's lengthening his day because he's doing a mitzvah. He's taking that time and making that eternal. But then if he does an avera, he's using the time. He's using his time to do something wrong. But you can't get your time back. Right? Time you can't get back. Oh, so wait a second. But if I can cover over the sin and then do tshuva, and I can come back to Hashem because I love Hashem, then that iniquity can get uncovered. It can get turned over, transformed into a merit. It's pretty good. It's amazing. We say it, but if you really sit and think about that for a minute, right? If you really think about that, take the time to think that you can take it's something that I did wrong. I did something wrong. I created an evil angel. I created dark letters. I did something bad. I can take that and turn it into a beautiful angel. I can turn it into shining letters. All because through ahava. That's why the Berachos Kahanim is so important. The Kohen blesses us, the ahava, that I should understand what I'm supposed to love. See, if we don't know that, then people are running around loving their cars and they're loving their technology, right? Because technology, I can use that word, it's everything else in between, right? Technology, it's everything, right? Everything is in there, right? Or people love food, right? All types of food, right? People love all types of things. But when the Kohen gives us the blessing, and he says, B'ahava, wait a second. Hashem's blessing me here through the Kohen, through ahava. Oh, what do I need to really love? What do I need to really love? To really set our mind, to change our mind, take our mind away from all of the nonsense that the world tries to stick into us. Right? And they do a pretty darn good job at it, right? They do a darn good job at it. Right? They tell you that everything else is important except for Hashem. But the Kohen comes back to tell you, no, it's really HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, does anyone have any questions on this to understand? Everyone knows what the Malupim is now, right? Right? We all know what that is, right? The line with the dot, right? We know all the different the different ideas. Chevra? Yes, no, maybe so.
It's everything.
Right? We started off, no one knew what the malupim was, right? The line with the dot, right? Now we see how important the dot is, right? We know that little dot and that little line. It's really, there's so much secrets inside this. Could you imagine? This is just a vowel. One vowel. Look what, there's a world inside a vowel. This is not even a letter. It's not even a letter, it's a vowel. That most people don't even know what it is. You go over to most people, they say to them, malupim, they go, what's that? We learn, what's a malupim? Malei pum. My mouth is full of praise to Hashem. That's a malupim, praising Hashem. All these different things we learned, and this is all based on lesson 34 in Likutey Moharan. Right? If you want to study and you want to see some more about this and understand more about this, so you can always learn a little bit more. We're going to be going into Vav. I guess we'll do that tomorrow. We'll pick up Vav tomorrow. Okay, and but the whole halacha hey, all halacha hey is based on lesson 34 in Likutey Moharan. So if you have time to take it out and look at it, all these lessons will be much more when you see the source where Rav Nosson drew the lesson from. Okay?
We have a lot of times we count the letters. So we don't count that malupim as one of the letters.
You count letters, you don't count vowels.
No, I'm saying, so that's a vav. So when you count the letters in a sentence, you don't count that.
No. I guess not. Right now, this is a line and a dot. This is the line and dot. Well, you wouldn't have that in the Torah.
And the dot is a stone.
Right, you won't have that in the Torah, right? You would never have you don't have dots in the Torah.
No,
The dot is the stone.
vav appears.
The dot is the stone, yeah.
Where everything happened.
The dot is the Torah.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's the Yud. And the Yud is what? 10. The 10 commandments. The 10 utterances that Hashem created the world in the 6 days. Unbelievable, beautiful ideas that we have here. I'm always amazed. Honestly, every time I learn Rav Nosson, I'm just amazed how he pulls all these things out of the hat. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. It's really, truly fascinating.
These are just things I don't know. These are all just things that I don't know.
No, but it's just imagine.
Yeah.
It's amazing his broad knowledge of all of Torah. He was able to pull things out of it. It's fascinating, and under the conditions he was writing it.
That's
he was being
unbelievable.
chased. He was being chased. It was this.
And what did he write on?
Whatever.
It's like, look at all that.
Rambam too was chased.
Yeah, the Rambam, the great tzaddikim. Yeah.
Chased.
What about the Ramchal? What about the Ramchal? Mashilas is sharp. They chased him out of Italy.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The great Ramchal. The great rabbis. The great rabbis had the great rabbis had a lot of trouble. They had a lot of trouble.
We lost a lot of what he wrote. They burned it.
Yeah. They didn't like him. They didn't like him.
They didn't scan it first either. They just burned it.
They didn't have a scan,
He missed the dot.
They didn't have the scan then. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's learn now, Chevra. Let's see. We're up today. We're learning in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. We're on Hagga's Beis Hakisei Odinei Birchas Hashayotzer. So we're up to today. That's 4, and today we're up to Beis 2. So 4-2. Okay. All right, you got the place. All right, here we go. Yehei tzenua bebeis hakisei. Oh, that's an interesting one, right? You have to be modest when you come to use the restroom. When you come to the restroom, you have to have modesty in the restroom as well. Okay? Lo yigales atzmai ad sheyeshev. Don't uncover yourself until you sit down. Again, a lot of these halachas have changed because of the situations we have of bathrooms today. Okay, this was written a while ago, and they didn't have exactly the same type of bathrooms that we have now with dividers and stuff. We're going to see in a few minutes. Okay,
Also, the clothing is different.
Clothing is different as well too. Yes, clothing is different as well too. Right. Like Rav Shalom was saying, they used to wear a robe. Right, so it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different than the kind of clothing that we have today. Okay. V'gam oz yitzamtzem sheloi legales, right? Rak ma shehuchruch loi legales. And don't pull your pants, let's say, all the way. You cover what you have to uncover. You don't get undressed. You cover what you have to uncover. Sheloi letanef es begadav. You want to make sure that you don't get your clothes soiled. Right, you don't want to soil your clothing with the excrement, whatever what you're doing. You want to make sure you uncover it enough. Okay. Now, if you gam balayla v'kemay bayom, and you do this again at night, the same way by day, because we said by Hashem it makes no difference, right? Hashem day and night is the same thing. So Hashem could see you whether it's the day or the night. Im yifne b'makei megula she'ein sham mechitza. Now, if you're in a place that there are no walls. In other words, you're not in a regular bathroom, that there's a bathroom and a door and all of that, right? You're in a place that's open. Or maybe you're in a field, right? It could be in a field even, right? Yechaven shehei panav ledoram v'achrav letzafon oy ifcha aval bein mizrach lemayrav aser. So now, when you have to do this, you have to take a compass with you, right? Because you can't be facing either east or west. You have to go north or south.
Aye.
Why? Because east or west, the place is towards Yerushalayim again, right? Towards Yerushalayim, towards the coastal, towards the Beis HaMikdash. So why would I want to? We want to pray in that direction, but why would I want to use the facility in that direction? So I'd rather want to turn to the north or to the south, not to the east or the west. East or the west is based on where you are in the world. Right? Sometimes you're facing Israel, you're facing the east, correct, Ellie? Sometimes you're in the world, parts of the world you have to face west to get to the but either way, that's the rule, okay?
Do they do that in Israel then? When they're building these apartments?
No, we're gonna see in a minute. Wait. Hold on. This is in a field. This is in a field where there's no walls. You're out in the open. That's why I said I believe when people do go camping, they have a compass with them, right? Is that a common thing that people do? I don't go camping,
but I don't know that I use the compass to make sure.
But I'm saying, is that a common thing people take when they're camping? They take a compass.
Yeah.
Hiking,
camping,
Yeah.
Well, camping is hiking. Is the same idea, right?
Yeah.
You take a compass with you. So now you'll know. Okay, I take the compass. When I have to go, I don't go this way. I go that way.
Right.
Again, everything is found in Shulchan Aruch. Any situation you find yourself in, the rules are in the book. There's a rule for everything, and that's why you can always be whatever you're doing. You're connecting yourself to God. Right? Every time you follow a halacha, what are you doing? You're following the Devar Hashem, the word of God.
Yeah.
So that means you're connecting yourself to God by following God's rules.
Right.
Unbelievable. How you go to the bathroom? See that? Unbelievable. Okay, here we go. Let's see now. V'im yesh mechitza yochel lefanais b'chol inyan. Any way you want. Right? If there are walls, right? If you have walls, right? If you have mechitzos, right? Like you're in a modern, like our bathrooms, right? So it doesn't make a difference because it's closed off. It's closed off. Im achrav litzada amechitza, right? Lahashtem mutan b'chol inyan. But when you have to go, to urinate, you can go wherever you can do that. Wherever you have to do that. Okay.
So in a bathroom where there's urinals lined up and there's no separating, you still have to be modest. And that's
you have to be modest every time because you want to be modest because you're with Hashem wherever you go.
So you probably don't want to use those when there's no separating.
Yeah,
This is only talking about.
This is going outside in the street.
In the field,
it says
outside.
no shade.
Mechitza here, no, okay. Okay. He's talking mechitza. There are no walls. Even the bathroom that has urinals, you have walls. There are walls in the bathroom. It's still a bathroom. It's not in the street.
Right, I understand that. So, so it doesn't matter whether there's other men there or
No. You'll see in a minute. No. When you're urinating, one second. Just again, can you just state that? Okay.
I don't know.
Wait a second. Ki yifne lo yifne b'fnei shum adam v'afilu b'fnei akam asa. When the person has to defecate, right? He should never do that in front of anybody, and even in front of a goy, not Jews or anyone. Don't do that in front of people. You do that privately. You have to be private when you do that. Aval lahashtin muta afilu b'yoim b'fnei rabim. Oh, but if you have to urinate, you could do that in front of anyone, wherever you have to do that. If you have to urinate, you can, wherever you have to urinate, you urinate. Why? Because we said yesterday, you don't want to become sterile. You don't want to become an akar. You don't want to become sterile. Right? So this is an important thing. If you have to urinate, you got to go. If you have to do that, if there's a place to go, you can go to a restroom. So of course, take another second and go to the restroom, okay? But if it's impossible, you're in a place where there's nothing, so you just go. You're going to see in a second. Mishum deika sakana im ya'atzar esatzma, because it's a sakana. You're endangering yourself if you hold yourself back from urinating. But you should also always try to turn to the side. In other words, don't pee in front of the people, right? Go to the side, as much sneers as you can do. Always try to do that. Go to the side. Okay, you want to do one more letter? Yeah. We could do one more letter? Okay.
Kind of related.
What? Yeah. Lo yifne b'amida. Don't go to is the right word to say defecate? Is that the right word? Okay. We'll use that word. Ketanim, okay, but I don't know. Okay, yes, that's true.
Was that 1 and 2?
Ketanim and going, that's what Shulchan Aruch uses, right? That's what they use. Right? Let's see, what is that? Right, don't push yourself. Shaloi not take shnei hakashadi, because you don't want to disturb your bowels, right? So in other words, you want, like we said yesterday, if you have to go to he said yesterday, if a person wants to go to the bathroom, he's having trouble. So what was the advice we got yesterday? Take a walk. Walk a little bit. Take a walk around a little bit, and then sit down, and then stand up, and then walk a little more, sit down. And then yesterday we also said that what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to clear your mind. A lot of times a person's worrying about, I have to go to the bathroom, I'm worried about, clear your mind. Don't be so worried. Don't worry. Maybe think about something else. We're going to see in a minute. Maybe think about something else so you're not thinking about that. So then you'll be able to go more freely. Right? Okay. We have okay. And don't just run out of the bathroom. Don't just run out of the bathroom. You took care. Wait a moment. Just wait a moment. Ad asher boru loy she'ein tzarich. Make sure you don't need any more. Right? Let's say the person's going. Maybe some more that needs to come out. And then when you're what do you call it? When you're urinating, right, standing, yashkiach shaloi yinzu al minola v'begoda. Make sure you don't drip it onto your shoes and your pants, right? You don't want to, because it's not, again, you're going to go to daven, so you can't go to daven with urine on your pants and on your shoes. It's not nice. Right? And make sure you don't hold on to this the member, right? You don't want to hold it because you don't want to come to any what's the word to use?
You don't want to arouse yourself.
You don't want to. There you go. You don't want to cause an arousal and then cause an emission, the chas v'shalom. So therefore, when you go to the bathroom, you do as much. You have to touch whatever you have to do, but you don't be overzealous.
Don't be overzealous.
I'm trying to think of the right word to say. I'm sorry. Listen, these are difficult things, right? These are difficult things to learn. But okay, so we'll leave it over here. We'll do Dalit tomorrow. Okay. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And again, today's Tu B'Av, so it's a Yom Simcha. So try to be a little bit more joyous today. Kol Tov, everybody.